We've known for a while that Discovery was taking over Warner Brothers. They were kicking the old regime out. And with Warner Brothers Discovery came a lot of changes. David Zaslav's now the boss, canceled Batgirl, did a lot of stuff for the DC brand that was unexpected. And one of the things that they talked about a couple months ago that they were looking for was they wanted to, first of all, turn DC into its own studio, which at the moment it was just part of the overall Warner Brothers Pictures division. So they wanted to make that its own studio, much like Marvel has its own studio. And much like Marvel, they wanted to find their Kevin Feige, who was going to lead the roadmap and lead DC down a new route into the future. And it looks like, actually, it doesn't look like, it is official. DC has found their Kevin Feige. Actually, it's in the form of two people, one of which includes James Gunn. Let's get into this, guys. Hollywood Reporter breaks this down in a really good way. I've grabbed a bunch of their quotes, so let's just go through this real quick. The unprecedented move in which a top director will assume a top executive post marks the end of a month-long search by Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace DC Films boss Walter Hamada, who departed the studio last week. That search had all of Hollywood guessing and playing executive bingo for who would land one of the most coveted and challenging jobs in town. Gunn was James Gunn will focus on the creative side of things, while Safran, which is his partner in this whole thing, will focus on the business and production side. Both are expected to continue to direct and produce projects, which is very fascinating, by the way. They will report directly to Zaslav and work closely with Warner Brothers film bosses DeLuca and Pamela Abdi. Sources say the deal runs for 4 years and Gunn will be exclusive to DC. So if you guys are wondering if this means that we're going to get a Guardians of the Galaxy 4 by James Gunn or if James Gunn is going to do anything else in the Marvel realm, not for 4 years because he is stuck at he is owned by DC for these 4 years. Let's keep going. The goal is for them not to just be producers, but to truly function as executives, even as Gunn will occasionally hone a movie. Safran came up as a manager where Gunn was among his clients and is fully immersed in the world of DC as producer of the $1 billion grossing Aquaman and its upcoming sequel, as well as Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Shazam and its sequel. His relationship with Warner's extends back 10 years and includes the $2 billion Conjuring horror franchise. The Safran company recently re-upped its production deal with Warner's. We're honored to be stewards of these DC characters we've loved since we were children, Gunn and Safran said in a statement. We look forward to collaborating with the most talented writers, directors, and actors in the world to create an integrated, multi-layered universe that still allows for the individual expression of the artists involved. Our commitment to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Harley Quinn, and the rest of the DC stable of characters is only equaled by our commitment to the wonder of human possibility these characters represent. We're excited to invigorate the theatrical experience around the world as we tell some of the biggest, most beautiful, and grandest stories ever told. And that comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Guys, if you don't understand how huge this is for not just DC, but for Warner Brothers and James Gunn and all these people involved, this is huge. Now, before James Gunn and Safran were put as co-CEOs and co-chairmen of DC Studios, which again now a studio not under Warner Brothers, just film division. Before this, Walter Hamada, who left, as it said in the article, he was just one of the chairmen of a bunch of chairmen. There was a bunch of cooks in the kitchen with DC, with the old regime. This is the first time that DC over at Warner Brothers is going to have its own Kevin Feige-like Frankenstein creation where they are in charge. They make the decisions. They only have to talk to David Zaslav. That's the only layer they have. That is their boss. At the moment, with Bob Chapek now running Disney, Kevin Feige himself has like 3 to 4 people he has to go through before he can even talk to Bob Chapek, which didn't used to be the case when Bob Iger ran Disney. But now James Gunn and Safran like pretty much have more control over their DC universe than maybe even Kevin Feige does at this moment. When it comes to James Gunn being in this position, this is fantastic. Now, I've seen some people online saying that this is disappointing. Now every movie in the DC world is going to be like Suicide Squad. It's just going to be like James Gunn all the time. That's not going to be the case. This is not going to be a James Gunn universe, for so to say. James Gunn, as it says in the article, he's on the creative side of things of this partnership. So he's picking who they're bringing in, the stories they're going to tell, uh, bringing in the creative talent. And James Gunn is a creative person himself. He's been on the side. He's been both in front of the camera. He's been behind the camera. Not to mention, he was at Marvel. How crazy is this? He was at Marvel. He was working on Guardians of the Galaxy, to the point that there was a time where Kevin Feige was picking him as his right hand man. He was going to be in charge of the intergalactic side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then those tweets came out that were like 13 years old that people dug up. They were horrible jokes and all that stuff. He got fired from Disney, got picked up by Warner Brothers, directed a DC movie, got rehired after that by Disney to finish out his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Now he's permanently at DC as the lead of it. It's a crazy story. It just the lineup of events is insane. But the fact that he's worked with Kevin Feige, that they were already picking him to be the leader of a part of the MCU, he knows how this stuff works. He has been in a position where he's seen a cinematic universe, the innings and outs of it. He's got the knowledge, he has the experience. I have no doubt that he is going to do a fantastic job at world building, because that's what James Gunn does in Guardians of the Galaxy, in the Suicide Squad, even. This guy knows how to world build. Not just that, but he is a comic book fan at heart. You talk to hardcore comic book fans, and they will even tell you that James Gunn knows more deep cuts than they do. Just the fact that he's been able to bring all these obscure characters to the screen and make us love them already with Guardians of the Galaxy, with the Suicide Squad. Not only is he going to be in charge of the big name superheroes, like they say, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and not only will he probably know them by the back of his hand and know how to treat them, how to bring them onto the screen and make audiences love them the way that he fell in love with them, he's also going to bring obscure characters that none of us have even heard about once again, and he's just going to do wonders with them at DC. And what's great about this partnership is that while James Gunn is the creative side of this, that he knows how creatives work, he will design the world and shepherd the DC universe. We also got Saffron here, who has been with Warner Brothers in the producing side for 10 years. He's worked on pretty much all of the DCEU movies already. He has tons of experience. He knows the business side of things. He's made a lot of money with movies that he's worked on. So while James Gunn, this is also very interesting too. James Gunn is not only going to be running the DC universe alongside with Saffron, but he is also, it says in the article, occasionally going to hone a movie. So James Gunn is also going to be on sets directing. He's going to be he's going to have a personal touch. He's going to personally be there in as the DC universe that they are going to be creating is going to be expanding. I am very, very excited about this, guys. The future of DC with these two in the lead, with these two at the head of it, is a really bright future. Does it mean that it's going to be amazing right off the bat? Probably not. One thing to mention about these two that I didn't pick from the article, these two guys start this job November 1st. Next week is when they go into office and when they start their job. So we're probably going to start to see effects of their DC Studios world that they're going to continue in the DCEU, which I think they say in the article they've officially just called the DCU. We're going to start seeing effects of that maybe even next year, 2 years from now. I'm very excited about this. I think this is a great opportunity. I'm very congratulations, James Gunn. You definitely earned this. You deserve this. This is fantastic. Cannot wait to see what these two guys do and how this changes the hierarchy of power in the DC universe. What do you guys think of this news? Are you excited that James Gunn is in this position at DC? Are you hesitant? Are you not the biggest James Gunn fan? Comment down below. Let me know, guys. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions about this huge shakeup over at Warner Brothers. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying.